Hi, it's Harms here, and we are now talking about the key learnings on audience's attention without being salesy and really in their face. So, how do we do that? Well, there may be some phrases you've heard in the past or in the present, things like content marketing, value, sell, educational teaching, educational selling, content is king, and a whole host of things like this. And everybody will put their own spin on it. And you've even got famous social media superstars and agency owners such as Gary Vaynerchuk, and he calls it jab, right hook. And essentially, what he's saying is provide value into the marketplace, then ask for the sale. Then ask for whatever it is you're asking for within your specific business niche. But why bother? Because all of this stuff means the same thing. It means giving away free or low cost value first before you ask for the offer. And for anybody who knows about marketing, there's really two big categories. One is this that we're speaking about, and one is direct marketing. The BATON model and the BATON system is the opposite to direct marketing. And this will make sense as I explain why we bother doing this, why put all the effort in the first place to share free information with your audience. So there's a few reasons, and they do link. So the first thing we've determined is we are producing value for our audience, and this value can sometimes be free or very low cost. The next stage after that, and this is one of the things people miss considerably, but even small to medium businesses, and we see it in our clients, is we need to go and produce consistent value. And that's important as well. The key about being consistent will make sense later. That's a little bonus feature which comes along with this model. So now once you are producing consistent value in the marketplace, this now means you position yourself in the marketplace within your business niche as an expert. So let's just write that there. So you position yourself as an expert in your subject matter and your business niche. Now, once you stay present and consistently put out more work and more free value, so again, consistent work and value, the next item along the link, along the chain, starts to show itself, and you'll start to see this immediately. And you may see this. So an example of this is when somebody out in social media or somebody's speaking in a friend circle, and somebody says, oh, I'm really interested in buying a birthday cake. Okay, and this is just an example I picked at the top of my head. I'm really interested in buying a birthday cake. And you may get 2 or 3 responses within that group or within that social media circle which says, oh my God, you must go to Pete's Bakery. Pete's Bakery produce the best cakes. And what Pete's Bakery has done over many, many years consistently is he's positioned, or she has positioned themselves as an authority in the marketplace. And that's a big trigger. So there's a difference between being an expert. That's a big thumbs up. You've got most of the way there. But when you get to being an authority, this is when people start to talk about you and start to say, that is the go-to person within this business niche. And as the example we used was Pete's Bakery. Why? So this is the big question though. Why bother doing all of this work prior? Well, the biggest reason is once we get to this level, we now have trust with our audience. The audience trust us, which means that not only are their eyes on us, we are an authority in the market, we are an expert in the market, and they believe and they trust everything we say. So this is one thing, it has to be treated with respect, because you are going to have an audience, and later sections you'll see you're going to have a tribe, and it's massively important to respect the trust that they're giving you. Now, what comes after the trust? Well, this is a big final piece to the jigsaw puzzle. We now have permission. And Seth Godin, the expert Seth Godin, calls this permission marketing. But essentially, you now have their permission to market to them and share information with them, and they are looking forward to hearing about that information. And in later sections, you will see why it becomes easier and more respectful to do it this way and then present them with an offer, because this is not going to be a hard sell and it's not going to be a hard close. You're going to seek permission from them in order to allow them to say, okay, yeah, I don't mind. I would like to see what you have to say, and I would like to see what you have to sell. So I would like to see what you have to say, and I would like to see what you have to sell. So if you are taking notes, this little link chain you can literally write as a formula: value, and then an arrow, let me produce consistent value, then an arrow, this will mean I'm an expert, then an arrow, I'm moving a laser pointer onto here, value, consistent value, now I'm an expert in the market, but that's still not good enough. I need to produce more consistent work, more consistent value, useful, free information to educate my audience. And then I want to be an authority in the marketplace. Why? Because this builds trust with my audience, which allows them to give me permission to now speak to them and sell to them in a respectful way. So hopefully that makes sense to you there. Typically we get pushback. So when we're talking to clients, when we're talking to individuals or startups, and there's no age demographic for who we get pushback from. It's literally I think it's a 50-50. Some people understand it if they've been taught reading and understanding about marketing and the principles of permission marketing. However, if they haven't, typically we get pushback and say, we cannot give away our things for free. We can't give our stuff away for free. Then what are people going to buy? And that's one of the biggest challenges we face. So we have to educate clients and say, what we are putting out there, the value we are putting out there, and let me change the pen here. The value we are putting out there is in small pieces. Small pieces in order to build trust. And once a trust is built, people will buy the package, whether that's a product or a service. People will buy the full package rather than try to work out how these individual pieces fit together. And that's the way we explain it to them. And you don't necessarily have to give away your best stuff. And there's some argument to say give away your best stuff, because if you're selling a service, you can give away your best information for free, because what they are doing is buying into your service. If you're giving away a product, you can give away your best pieces of your product, but split it into small chunks. So one, it's digestible for them, but also if they are interested, then they can go ahead and buy your complete product. Let me give you an example in the market. So there's some famous restaurants out there. So you've got Wagamama's, and you've got some other famous Thai restaurants out in the marketplace. And what they do is they put their complete recipe guide in a cookbook and on YouTube videos. So so somebody looking from the outside, or maybe an internal employee, is thinking, we've just given away our secret sauce. We've given away everything. We've given away all our recipes in our cookbook. We've told people at home how to make these recipes. Why are they going to come back to us? Well, the key here is, and this links nicely to why this entire model is important. It is they become familiar with your brand. And when they become familiar with your brand, that means you are now top of mind. So when that person is thinking, oh, I fancy Thai food today, or I fancy going to a restaurant today, who are they going to go to? They're going to go to the people where the cookbook is sitting on their shelf, the Wagamama's cookbook. I've got no affiliation with these people. It's just a pure case study. Or any other restaurant out there, you're going to think, because that person is so familiar, because that brand or logo or person is so familiar with you, that's the people you trust to spend your money at. What's a greater example of this? The greatest example of this is probably Coca-Cola. When you think soda drink, when you think, I fancy a fizzy drink, Coca-Cola is typically the go-to brand for that. The recent stat I read is they are in every single country in the world bar 2. There's only 2 countries in the world that Coca-Cola are not in. So they have reached every corner of the planet to become familiar and for people to trust their brand. And that's an example, that's a reason to go ahead and get some free information, documented content, get it out there, because that will position you as an authority in the marketplace, and that will give you and the audience permission to now engage, whether it's a sale, whether it's charity, whether it's donations, whether it's a meetup, whatever the situation is. That's what you are aiming for. You're aiming for to get from free value to permission, and along the way build yourself as an expert and an authority, because that builds trust. And hopefully now you've also overcome the fact that it's okay to give away your information, because hopefully as you could develop this and you become an expert, and you are an expert in your niche, if you work with Carl on determining what your business niche is, what you like and what you love to do, what you're passionate about, and that intersection that we spoke about previously, you will have depth to your knowledge. So yes, this really works if you have a lot of depth to your knowledge, but you don't have to be the complete expert. You don't have to know everything in your field before you start to implement this, because the other way to start is to document. So one of the challenges we have is, I don't have nothing to talk about. Well, in the audience section, Kyle is talking to you in detail, if you watch the other videos, in detail, how to work out what people want to hear. Now, if you don't typically have the answer, or you don't feel comfortable giving the answer because you haven't completed this task or challenge in your life, then embark on it. And when you embark on it, document that journey, because that documented journey is the content which provides the free value to your audience. And think about where that will position you, not in a year's time, but where will that position you in 5 years' time? And that's the key. This is a long-term play. If you wanted a short-term fix and a short-term answer, then typically my suggestion would be spend a lot of money in direct advertising, targeting your specific business niche. If you want to build up a long-term play and build yourself as an authority in the marketplace, then this has a greater reward long-term. So that's me closing off this section. What we have spoke about is the formula on why education should come first when attracting the audience's attention.